2 days down and just 58 to go in the 2018 legislative session, which means only 58 more days until Richard Corcoran can start raising money for his fictional gubernatorial campaign. Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you get a haircut?
I did, actually. Yes. Thank you for noticing. I've got a cowlick like right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I went to the hairdresser. I'm a TV star, so I have a hairdresser now. I used to just go to the barber shop.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, her name's Katie, and I'm like, can you do something about this cowlick right here? It's just kind of like in my way, and she's like, I can't cut the cowlick, and I'm like, why not cut the cowlick? And she said, do you know why she wouldn't cut it?
I can only imagine, but why don't you tell me?
She didn't want me to have a bowl cut like Adam Putnam.
Oh my goodness.
Right? It's not good. It's not good. Bowl cuts aren't good for television.
Solid roast that I walked right into.
Solid roast. Anyway, that's what my kid says all the time. Solid roast. I'm told that's a really cool thing to say nowadays. Well, anyway.
A solid roast is not good for television. It's not going to get Adam Putnam on our show. I just want to point that out.
Are you saying he's too thin-skinned or something? He's just not going to, he's too afraid to come on. We'll mock him too much?
Well, would you? I mean, let's be honest. Let's think about it. Be nice. Be nice and talk about how great his hair is. He's a redhead.
He's tough. He can take it.
Okay.
He might need a new haircut. Adam Putnam could, he could use a new haircut.
Right.
But what he doesn't need right now is a well-funded opponent with the ability to go to his right in a Republican primary. Good segue, huh?
Very good.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But that's exactly what Putnam got last Friday when Congressman Ron DeSantis formally announced his candidacy for governor.
Do you really think Ron DeSantis represents a serious threat to Adam Putnam?
I do. I totally do. Oh,
okay.
Absolutely. Yes. I think the biggest challenge for Putnam is that there isn't a lot you can attack Ron DeSantis for right now. We can get deeper into their respective resumes, and it probably will in this monologue.
Right.
But DeSantis has only been a United States congressman since January of 2013. Adam Putnam's response to his announcement getting in the race was to call Ron DeSantis a D.C. insider.
But he is, though, by any modern standard, DeSantis has been there for multiple terms now. He went on Fox News. He didn't announce it from Florida. He announces from Fox News that he's going to run for governor of Florida. I mean, he wasn't even in the state when he made the announcement.
There's a big audience that watches Fox News that lives here in Florida.
But
97% of the villages, I think.
Okay, so you're probably right. But he does make the announcement, and Putnam calls him a DC insider. Mistake or no?
Yes, he made a serious mistake, I think.
A pot and black kettle, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
I think Putnam's walking into a trap. I think by attacking Ron DeSantis for serving in Congress for 3 terms, just opens him up to a counterpunch from DeSantis. Because, yeah.
Putnam was in Congress for 10 years.
Correct, longer. So he's got two additional terms worth of votes that can be used against him. And these are votes, when Putnam was in, they're votes that happened a decade ago when the definition of what it means to be a conservative is radically different than what it means today. We're now in a post-Trump world, and votes that maybe were cast in the light of 2008 or so, they might have seemed conservative then, but the ground has shifted. So it's just a different ballgame now. That's my take on it. Anyway.
I will agree with you on that. And so
there's another important difference too. Putnam, when he was a very young kid, I'd call him. I mean, he was. And
he was a younger man. I don't think it's fair to call a guy in Congress a kid. He was a younger man.
You can look at the video. We'll have to throw some video up here.
We're pretty happy about what we're doing in Polk County right now.
Adam Putnam got elected as a Polk County lawmaker at the age of 22. Back then, they called him Opie, and by the age of 26, they sent him to Congress.
Holy cow, look at all these people. Just happy to be here. They can put me in a broom closet.
He's a kid.
He's a younger man.
I mean, look at those glasses.
All right, he's a younger man.
Okay. So,
I'd like him to be on the show.
But in his defense, he's in Congress at that point. He's probably not thinking, I'm going to run for governor in 10 or 15 years. It's one of those things you might put on a list of someday goals.
Sure.
But he's not sitting in Congress during that time period of his life, checking boxes and making sure he's casting votes for governor to set himself up for a big race. He's probably trying to be as diligent as he can, making the right votes, trying to survive in D.C. But if you contrast that with Ron DeSantis and his, from 2013 on,
right.
DeSantis has probably been in D.C. for a long time now with his eye on the prize, which is the governor's mansion in Florida, and the votes that he cast are made with that in mind. So he's been able to sort of play defense with regard to his votes in a much better way than Putnam probably did in the early 2000s. So it's going to be very, very tough, I think.
So do you think the last thing that Putnam wants to do is turn this race into a comparison of their congressional records? Because, I mean, that's pretty much kind of, it's coming.
Well,
so to call him a DC insider just really brings light to that, I think.
Ann, come on. I don't give out political advice for free.
How would you attack DeSantis?
I'm a respected political strategist in this town.
But you used to be a political communication strategist.
Right. But I was never the brains. I was always the muscle man more than the brains.
So a hitman, not the shot caller? Is that what you mean?
I've called a few shots here and there.
So, no advice then for Putnam?
Anything.
As to how we can attack DeSantis?
Anything's better than calling him a DC insider because it opens Putnam up. But DeSantis went to Yale for undergrad and Harvard Law. So just off the cuff, if I'm Putnam, I'm calling him an Ivy League elitist, right?
Sure.
Pinky up in the air and all that stuff.
Got it.
Run on, wow, 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 Eli, yeah. Run on, wow, 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 our team can never fail.
There's no chance he can counterpunch against that. Putnam went to the University of Florida. Compared to the Ivy League, Putnam's a complete redneck.
Time out. Are you going to call Gator Nation a bunch of rednecks?
They're not?
Oh, my goodness.
I got video. I got loads of video.
That's enough, man! We should be in Gainesville! Forget it, man! I'm done! Forget it! Doesn't make any sense!
Check this dude out. Gator Nation right there.
Sense! Go to Gainesville! Get out of there now and save your show! Ah!
It's a no-brainer. And just tell Amanda Beavis over at the Putnam campaign, just the advice is free. I'm not going to bill her for this stuff.
I don't think she'd pay anyways.
She probably won't. But now we have to take a quick commercial timeout. And when we come back, we're going to rub Chris Dudley's nose in his prediction that DeSantis wouldn't get into the race. And we'll ask Katie Webb to go out on a limb and make a prediction of her own. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Axio Salt Spa and Juice Bar is the perfect place to begin a new you. Start with the Salt Room experience with Himalayan salt infusion to leave the stress behind. And move to the Salt Chamber to take your reliefs to the next level. We offer massage and facials as well as a complete line of Eminence products to treat your skin. Finish your treatment with an organic juice or smoothie from our juice bar. Axio Salt Spa and Juice Bar, the perfect place to get your relief from the inside out.
Hey, it's Brian Burgess here with the Capitolist. Just wanted to take a moment with session gearing up again, coming into 2018. Wanted to remind everybody about the free Capitolist app that you can download at either the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can get it directly at thecapitalist.com/app. It's more than just a news app. It's more than just my content from the site. It's also got content from all around the state. You can touch the little menu screen, the little red button over there, and it'll give you a bunch of menu options, or you can just slide the screen over. So you've got breaking news from all around the state. Some of the top stories are fit in here from just about every site that covers Florida politics, including floridapolitics.com and on all the legacy news sites, the Tampa Bay Times, the Miami Herald, and Sunshine State News. Even Shark Tank is on here, and of course the Capitalist feeds into this as well. So this is sort of a breaking news feed. Then we've got all your morning news briefings. Sunburn, Politico Playbook. We've even got takeaways from Tally and links to Safety News. We've got Above the Fold from Kevin Kate, great little addition. So a quick run down the list. You can look up your favorite lobbyist and see who he or she is registered to lobby for. We've also got lobbyist appearances that you can look up. We've got top Twitter streams. We've got a campaign database. You can look up campaign documents, see who's donating to who's spending money on what. We've got links to the Florida channel. You can click on the Florida channel and watch your favorite committee meetings. It's very riveting viewing there. So anything that's going on there, all within the app, all one-stop shopping. And then a few other little things, handy tools. You've got Tramel Gomes' podcast is there. And then one of my favorite things is the Capitol Press Guide, which if I wanted to email someone from the Associated Press or the Tampa Bay Times or text them, you can do it all directly within the app. This page is sponsored by Saks Media, but you can go into the Capitol News Service, for example. Click on that. You've got text numbers and emails to all these guys. And then if you want to close that out. You just go to the next news source. Let's say the Florida Times-Union. Of course, there's Tia Mitchell's photograph and her. We can text her. We send her a text. We just tap on that, and it opens up our handy text option, and then we can send spam to Tia. So we've got a lot of different things, a lot of different ways to reach people. It's just a very handy app, one-stop shopping. It's been called the Swiss Army knife of Florida politics. Wanted to make you all aware of it. And of course, my favorite feature is the one where you can send news tips directly to the Capitolist. You can even attach photos and everything else and send it right to us. Protect your identity, be an anonymous source, contribute to society. That's all for now. More later. Download it for free once again at thecapitalist.com/app. And welcome back. Want to talk right now with our panel of experts, Chris Dudley from Southern Strategy Group and Katie Webb from Colodny Fast, about the entry of Ron DeSantis into the governor's race in 2018. He's challenging Adam Putnam, and there might be a handful of other candidates, but those are the two biggies right now. There's a few others rumored to get in. Before I ask you guys what your thoughts are on this and how it might change the game, I want to roll some tape real quick, have you take a look at it right there. So does Ron DeSantis run for governor? He's out there, congressman. He's out there rattling sabers. They're both sort of in the same boat money-wise. I mean, I think Corcoran has an advantage at this point, but not a huge advantage.
I'll disagree with Chris on this one. I think DeSantis gets in.
And who does it benefit? I think
Adam Putnam.
Yeah, benefits Putnam. I think I agree with that, just because I think they're both running for the same lane. Chris, you agree?
Yeah, if he gets in, it does, but I don't.
If you don't think he will, fair enough. Anything?
I remember that fondly. I think right afterwards I predicted that FSU would be playing in the national championship game tonight.
Also bold.
I've been wrong a lot in politics, so.
Really?
Yeah. Ironically, DeSantis still hasn't come to Florida and announced he's running for governor. So he needs to do that at some point.
Nice shot, and that's what Putnam said. That's what his Putnam's team said.
Yeah.
You're up here making an announcement in a New York studio with no one around. And by contrast, to Putnam's credit, he had a massive announcement in his hometown, and lots of people showed up. It was actually rather impressive. So there's definitely a contrast there. I'm not sure if it makes a difference to the average rank and file voter, but we'll find out.
Right.
Katie, first impressions. You've got, DeSantis is now definitely in. You've got Corcoran, saber rattling, but we're right at the beginning of the legislative session, and what do you think all this means for 2018?
Well, I'll start off with just taking a little victory sip.
Rubbing it in. Yes, victory sip. We should have clinked. Let's clink. The lesson, I think, there is don't make predictions on camera, right?
Yeah. Just kidding. What I would say that, the most immediate type of friction that we're going to see is how this does play out with Richard Corcoran. Philosophically, he and DeSantis seem to be a little bit more in line with each other, so I would imagine that the two of them will be drawing from the same supporter base.
Right.
And then Adam Putnam is, a little bit more on the more moderate side. And then the president has come out and via Twitter and basically endorsed DeSantis and said he would be a great governor for the state of Florida, and a couple other comments. So, I think that you look at the folks that are, theoretically Trump supporters and how they might be split between the speaker and DeSantis should the speaker continue to talk about getting in the race. So that's what I would say.
Right. Chris, I'm going to let you off the hook early here. And that is just to say that Adam Putnam is not Bill McCollum. I think we can all agree that it's not the same thing, but there are people who would like that to be the case, obviously on the DeSantis side. Why isn't he, though? Tell us why, in your view, he's not.
Adam's got a personality. I mean, he's a smart guy.
And this is from you, and you joked earlier.
Yeah, I joked about, I had a Bill McCollum T-shirt. I have, I've been around politics a long time, and I've always, I have tended to support Republicans who have always been Republicans, have been in the state, who, have been loyal to the grassroots folks, who have been loyal to the standards of the party. Adam is a really different guy, though. I think he meets all of that, but he's He has really worked hard. He has proven that he can raise the money. He is a dynamic speaker in front of groups. He's really able to get people passionate about, moving the state forward. And candidly, Governor Scott's done a great job, and I think Adam is one of those guys that recognizes that and is going to continue to move it in that direction. I'll just say this. I'm not anti-Ron DeSantis. He's an impressive guy. I haven't met him. I don't know much about him. I do think it's hard when your job is in Washington, D.C., and you're limited from asking for corporate contributions. I think our system here in Florida is going to make it difficult for a sitting congressman to be in Washington and run for governor. I think that'll be tough.
McCollum had no trouble. I shouldn't say no trouble. I'm sure it was a lot of work, but he raised, by the end of the 2010 campaign in the primary, he raised $25 million. Adam Putnam's already close to that. Not close, but he's 15, almost $20 million in now. How high do you think this race goes in a primary like this? Are we going to break records again? I'll throw it to either one of you. I don't know.
It'd be hard to break what Governor Scott.
Sure. Now he put in another $50 million of his own, while
Right.
McCollum only was able to do 25. But we're talking. That was a lot of money back then, and that shattered records in 2010. Yeah. Are these guys? Are we destined to see that again? This time around, it's not going to be Rick Scott, just dumping his own money in. It's going to be these guys raising it from a lot of different sources. Are there enough sources, I guess, to make it the race like that?
It'll be interesting. I'll be, and Katie and I have done this a long time. I'm amazed at how the money continues to grow in politics and how much of it continues to come in. And I get we're $85 billion state and we continue to grow, but I don't know how they get. I don't know how it continues to incrementally grow the way it is. But.
Yeah. When we come back, we have to cut to a break real quick. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about regardless of how much money the two of those guys raise, is there enough money in the system for, let's say, a third guy like Richard Corcoran? We'll come back and we'll talk about that in just a moment.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Every morning the sun rises in our fair city. A while later, Chris, the late riser, wakens for a day of work and involvement in FSU and community, serving Tallahassee as he has for years. Across town, Brother Peter, the early riser, has already turned on the lights, checked itineraries, and game planned with loyal employees who've been showing up every day for decades. And as the day rolls into business mode, the brothers orchestrate what has come to be recognized as Tallahassee's premier auto dealership, your car dealer, Kraft Nissan.
Located in Midtown Tallahassee, Bella Bella Italian Restaurant is where you'll find delicious, authentic Italian food at an amazing price, served with impeccable attention while enjoying a unique, found only in Tallahassee ambiance. Every day, customers enjoy Bella Bella's signature appetizer, bubble bread, followed by one-of-a-kind specialties or a longtime favorite crafted only at Bella Bella. A Tallahassee landmark, Bella Bella is a family-owned and run business focused on traditional values with the highest standards. Come enjoy lunch, dinner, or the best happy hour in Tallahassee. At Bella Bella, we live up to our name and make sure your visit is truly one of beauty.
And we're back, and we're talking with Katie and Chris, and we want to find out how big is the money pie, and is it big enough in this 2018 gubernatorial primary on the Republican side? We can talk about the Democrats again a little bit later, but right now we have some movement on the Republican side, and so I want to focus there. We've got DeSantis, and we've got Putnam already in, and we've got Corcoran being talked about quite a bit. Is there enough money, and I'll throw it to you, Katie, to support three of these guys, all trying to raise money from a lot of the same sources?
Sure, absolutely. I think, Chris made a point earlier, and I think he's 100% dead on, which,
This time, because he...
I agree, this time.
Sorry.
But
it never stops.
But it is astounding how much capital different interests put into politics, and
Right.
it does continue to grow. So I think, there's certainly enough support out there to support all three candidates. And, keep in mind, all we're talking about is the Republican side of things.
Right.
So we haven't even yet really gone into, who might be on the Democrat end and what kind of support that person may or may not, garner and resources that they may have. So, I think that the sky's the limit.
Okay, so financially, it's not a factor, you're telling me. What does that say about Richard Corcoran's decision-making then? As he comes out of legislative session, which now we only have, less than 60 days now, and he's going to be making a decision about whether he gets in the race. So you're telling me there's plenty of money. I guess the next question is, are there enough votes for him to be viable with DeSantis sort of trying to occupy the same lane? Does he run? That's the real question.
Right. Well, I think the speaker is not permitted to fundraise during session.
He's locked up
so
right now.
For the next 2 months, roughly, he's not going to be in a position to garner financial support. But what he can do, and where he is at an advantage, is get headlines on what his legislative priorities are. And we know that he has already made a lot of pretty bold statements on things that he wants to see the House pass and pass very quickly, as in this week and next week.
Right.
Some big priority items relating to insurance and business development and transparency and safety.
So all things that check a lot of boxes for Republican voters.
Exactly. So I think, we'll see as the session develops.
So you're not going to make a prediction right now because you don't want to be on camera later?
I think he will.
There we go. We've got her on. Lock that down, Sam. We've got Katie now. We'll play it regardless of whether you're right or wrong, and much to your chagrin if she's right.
This time I'm going to agree with Katie and probably be wrong. But I think he runs too. I think, as we've talked about before, Richard is pretty passionate about public service. I mean, he loves talking about issues. He loves these debates up here. He loves moving the needle. I agree. The money thing is difficult, so he'll have a 60-day hiatus. But I think he'll be kind of, raring to go when session ends. And I think it's kind of passion for him to run. I don't think any of the other three statewide offices really motivate him the way Governor does.
Thank you very much for that, Chris. Katie, your expertise, both of you, is going to be called upon heavily over the next several weeks as we get into this legislative session and really rely on you guys to tell us who's winning, who's losing, and what we can expect next. We'll be right back after this.
Located in Midtown Tallahassee, Bella Bella Italian Restaurant is where you'll find delicious, authentic Italian food at an amazing price, served with impeccable attention while enjoying a unique, found only in Tallahassee ambiance. Every day, customers enjoy Bella Bella's signature appetizer, bubble bread, followed by one-of-a-kind specialties or a long-time favorite crafted only at Bella Bella. A Tallahassee landmark, Bella Bella is a family-owned and run business focused on traditional values with the highest standards. Come enjoy lunch, dinner, or the best happy hour in Tallahassee. At Bella Bella, we live up to our name and make sure your visit is truly one of beauty.
Whether you're building a new home or remodeling your current home, at Brian Barnard's Flooring America, we can help you achieve the look you want at the prices the box stores can't compete with. For hardwood, carpet, tile, and rugs, for any area in your home, we'll take your design ideas and turn them into reality. From all the floors in your home to the walls in the kitchen and bath, we have the right products at the right price with exceptional service and installation. Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
At Cabela's Salon and Spa, we love clients like you. Cabela's has the most talented beauty industry professionals in Midtown Tallahassee. Ranked as one of the most popular salon and spas, Cabela's combines an elegant environment with warm and welcoming customer service. Cabela's is known for impeccable hair care expertise, from innovative cutting techniques to the latest trends for color. Cabela's is the place to go for Halo Couture hair extensions and luxurious Brazilian blowout treatments. All of our stylists are highly trained, creative, and committed to understanding the needs and desires of our clients with a focus on maintaining the integrity of your hair. As a full-service salon and spa, Cabela's offers luxurious manicures and pedicures and waxing services, as well as eyelash extensions, microblading, skincare, spray tans, and of course, massage services. Make an appointment and discover why you belong at Cabela's Salon and Spa.
Every morning, the sun rises in our fair city. A while later, Chris, the late riser, wakens for a day of work and involvement in FSU and community, serving Tallahassee as he has for years. Across town, Brother Peter, the early riser, has already turned on the lights, checked itineraries, and game planned with loyal employees who've been showing up every day for decades. And as the day rolls into business mode, the brothers orchestrate what has come to be recognized as Tallahassee's premier auto dealership, your car dealer, Kraft Nissan.
So, the big question is whether or not Richard Corcoran is going to get into the 2018 governor's race. So we've got Putnam, we've got DeSantis. There may be some millionaire lounging on a beach right now we don't know about. But of the ones we do know about, we've got those two, and we've got Corcoran sitting back and looking at the whole thing, but he's still got some unfinished business with the legislative session.
Correct. And Katie says if he gets in, he definitely gets into DeSantis' lane. But I see a lot of crossover between the three guys. So it's going to be, if he gets in, it's going to be a really, really tight race. And I think your jokes about him running for AG, maybe that's not such a bad idea.
He'd be a good AG, but he may not want the job. I mean,
we had
it's
our
a high-profile job, though.
Right. We had our experts. Pam Bondi's very high profile in terms of attorney generals, but we've had some who've been much more low-key, and I think it is what you make it in terms of an elected position like that.
I think Corcoran would make it quite a thing.
Right.
Knowing him, knowing what he's done with the Speaker's race. I agree. He might even rival Bondi in Fox News appearances, but we'd have to see. Now, the thing is, we won't know the answer to any of that stuff until session is over. That's still 58 days away, and it may not even be immediately after that Corcoran makes a decision. So sources who know Corcoran's thinking say he views DeSantis' entry into the race not as a deterrent, but just another factor making the outcome all the more unpredictable. And in a wide-open race like that, it'll be like that final rap battle with Eminem in the movie 8 Mile.
Oh, my goodness.
Each of these cats, they get $1.5 million apiece. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see you next week on The Capitolist.